We're back on the Anderson Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network. I'm Tim Healey, the radio voice of the Sun Devils, working alongside of Arizona State Athletic Director Ray Anderson. Ray and I are glad you're here with us. When former USC assistant J.J. Van Niel was hired late last year to become the new head coach of the Sun Devil women's volleyball program, one of the first people that Coach Van Niel called upon taking the job is the woman that you are about to meet. A one-time volleyball star at Chandler's Hamilton High School and a star for two different sets of Bears at the collegiate level, the Cal Bears and the Baylor Bears. Preslie Anderson was a volunteer assistant coach at TCU last season, and she helped guide the Horned Frogs into the NCAA tournament. Now she's back here in her hometown as the lead assistant coach for the resurgent Sun Devil women's volleyball program, and she is our guest today on the Anderson Healey Show. Preslie, great to have you on the show. Great to have you back in your hometown. How does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. This is, every time this gets brought up, like, wow, I'm back home, you know, first time assistant lands their job where I would want it most, you know, near my friends and family. I couldn't have asked for a better first start for this kind of gig.
Yeah, for sure. What was your first reaction when Coach Van Niel got a hold of you?
I can't lie. I ended up accepting the job or telling him yes before I even asked what the salary was because I was so excited. You know, I had initially reached out to him because my mutual friend is Brad Keller, the head coach at USC, and so he informed me, let me know that JJ got the head coaching job. You know, Brad was trying to help me find a place, and he's like, you got to text JJ, congratulate him on getting the job, and just see if you can get in there. And so I, you know, reached out to JJ, and luckily enough, after 6 or 7 conversations, he ended up offering me, and I'm just really lucky to honestly be here.
And the fact is that the job came in what we said is Preslie's hometown. In fact, a lot of our longtime Sun Devil sports fans might remember her dad, Mike Anderson, was an outstanding wrestler at Arizona State in the late 80s and early 90s and was a teammate of current Sun Devil wrestling coach Zeke Jones.
Yep. So it's been in my blood, that maroon and gold. I swear I've been to more ASU wrestling matches than volleyball matches in my time.
I'll bet your dad is thrilled that you're here, huh?
Yeah, his reaction, like I can still see it in my head of me telling him he was out in his garage playing his guitar. I went out there, I'm like, Dad, I just got offered the ASU assistant job. And I mean, he's wanted me to be a Sun Devil, you know, he wanted me to play here. It was a big part of my recruiting process was Arizona State, and me not coming here, you know, he was still proud of me, of course.
Sure.
But to finally get me in maroon and gold is something he's been waiting a long time for. So yeah, he was really proud.
As we mentioned, you were an outstanding player at Hamilton High School. Did Arizona State recruit you out of high? How did you end up at California?
Yeah, Arizona State did recruit me, actually. They were one of the schools that was in the mix for a very long time. You know, I always grew up going to the games. Obviously, like I was a Sun Devil fan since I came out the womb, it feels like. But ultimately, I'm a very independent person. I felt like it was best for me to go somewhere outside of the state. And so, you know, Cal offers a pretty good degree, and I really wanted to stay in the Pac-12 because that's what I grew up knowing and loving. And so, you know, I was really kind of aiming at those 4 Pac-12 schools in California, just because distance-wise it made the most sense. And so I ended up going to Cal because I just fell in love with the campus and the coaching staff at that time, who I actually didn't even end up playing for. I never really had the same head coach 2 years in a row.
Wow.
Because of various different reasons, COVID being one of them and the transfer. But I think that's really given me the opportunity to adapt with so many different coaching styles. You know, it's really helped me come into my own as an assistant coach and be so confident in kind of who I am as a younger coach.
Well, now you're one of the lead assistant coach for J.J. Van Niel on a team that's just turned in a remarkable season so far. You're ranked 21st in the nation, a spectacular 19-3 record. From your seat, Preslie, as you observe this, what, in your opinion, has been are the main reasons for this incredible turnaround?
Yeah, I mean, if you would have asked me, you know, even the day after I took my job, I knew what I was getting into. You know, we had 9 girls on the team when me and JJ got here initially, had to get a few from the transfer portal, a few late addition freshmen, and really try and instill a really strong culture fast, which is hard to do because there's just a lot of newness. And girls, I've known, being in that position where I've had a new staff come in and try and teach something, like it can take time, months to develop the relationships that it needs to get us in this position. And I think that's exactly what JJ is great at. And from the top down, he makes sure that he's connecting with and or communicating with every person in our program and letting them know, like, immediately off the bat, that he wants to spend time with them outside of the gym so they get to know him, they get to know our staff, and that's really where that trust kicks in. And that's why, I really do think if it wasn't for our culture, we probably wouldn't be in this space. But because JJ made it a priority right when he got here, we're able to, sit here at 19-3, of course, still hungry for the second half of PAC, but certainly can give ourselves a little bit of pat on the back for just the turnaround in general.
It helps, doesn't it, when you take over a team? You said 9 girls, and a lot of them are solid veteran players like Marta Levinska, Shannon Shields, Jelly Sear, Roberta Robello, and the young lady that we're going to visit with in the next segment, Maddie McLaughlin. To have that kind of, how was the buy-in had to have come really quickly from that group?
Yeah, totally. I think they were also just eager to see, what they could do. I know a lot of them have 1 year, 2 years left. And once we kind of laid the foundation of like, we are going to give you guys all the resources, all of our time, all of our energy as a staff, now can you try and meet us? And I think they've done a fantastic job of absolutely meeting us where we're at. I think they kind of surprised themselves with the talent in the gym and what confidence can really do to a group. And really trying to call these girls up to their potential and just continue trying to grow, especially over such a short period of time. It's really hard to do, but it's easy when you have good leaders at the top. So it's player-led, and it's not us continuously directing and orchestrating this, but it's like they feel like they have their hands in it and a piece in the culture.
All through the years I've broadcast ASU sports in all 3, football, basketball, baseball, some of the best teams always are, it seems like the best teams at any school in any sport are player-led.
Totally,
when your players are leading your other players, that's when you have the best success. A big weekend coming up. You have rematches against the Bay Area teams, including your former school. You got Cal coming here on Friday, 6 p.m. at Desert Financial Arena, and then Sunday over at the Mullet, a noon match against number 3 ranked Stanford. Now, you've already seen those 2 teams losing at Stanford, winning at California. Your thoughts on the rematches coming up?
Yeah, I'm excited. Second half of conference, it's like a brand new start. Like, I like to think everyone's 0-0 because except now it's going to be even harder because they've had a chance to play us and know kind of how we're going to defend them, how we're going to kind of attack them offensively, and then vice versa. So you kind of have to level up your game a little bit this next go around because they have more intel on you, more information and scouting and whatnot. But for us, I'm actually really excited. I thought we handled our tougher matches pretty well the first half. And so now it's like, can we have that second surge of like, we're refreshed, we're hungry, we want to get them, like once isn't enough, we want to get them a second time. Or in Stanford's case, why not us? Why not this group now? It's the perfect setting at Mullet Arena. I know that's a popular game for fans to come to, so I'm excited to see that just the energy. And if anything, at the end of the day, at the end of the match, both matches, we just want to feel good, like we're heading in the right direction as we hopefully gear up for postseason.
And how far can that right direction take you?
Yeah,
Can you be playing deep into December?
We could absolutely be playing deep into December. Like you mentioned, I was at TCU, and I got to be a part of a really cool turnaround there. They were bottom of the Big 12 the year before I got there, and then last year, because of similar reasons, culture being one of them, and just the values, like I was able to see a team who was, last in the conference go into the tournament and honestly just play all out. And that's all I'm going to ask. That's all we're going to ask of our girls. It's going to be a new experience. There's going to be some big eyes, but at the end of the day, everyone starts again 0-0 in postseason, and that's what kind of makes it so exciting.
It is going to be exciting down the stretch. Well, Preslie, it's great to have you back home. It's great to
Yeah,
have you
thank
here
you.
at Arizona State. Best of luck in your coaching career, and best of luck to you and the team the rest of this season.
Thanks so much.
That's
Thanks for having me.
Preslie Anderson, Sun Devil assistant volleyball coach, our guest on this segment of the Anderson-Healey Show. Coming up next, you'll meet a young lady who's authored one of the most inspiring stories on this year's ASU volleyball team, as middle blocker Maddie McLaughlin will stop by for a visit. But first, let's take a break. This is the Anderson-Healey Show from the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network.